Hello, this is John Martinka, and I am with Jeffrey Bryan with IBA Business Brokers in Bellevue, Washington. Jeffrey is a 10-year veteran business broker. And let's start out with a wide open question, Jeffrey. What are you seeing in the buy sell market these days?
Well, we're a seller representation company, but we do help buyers find businesses. And what we're seeing in the marketplace is we're seeing a lot of buyers carefully looking at businesses. They want to see how impacted businesses have been through this pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. And really it breaks down into three basic types of businesses. We have, and we have represented and represent, businesses in all categories, really. The businesses that everybody's really looking for are the ones that haven't been impacted by COVID or have even been positively impacted by COVID. Those businesses, a lot of times I represent a couple of distilleries. Dollars, some of them are up and some of them are down, depending upon if they're selling to restaurants and bars or if they're selling to grocery stores and big box stores. The ones that particularly that are dealing with big box stores are obviously selling more alcohol. Some of the ones that are dealing with restaurants and bars are selling less. So it's a pretty good illustration of really the top two tiers of businesses. The middle tier of businesses are businesses that have been impacted by COVID and have either come back from it or been moderately to insignificantly impacted by COVID. These are businesses. These are businesses like service businesses, contracting businesses that were maybe shut down for a short period of time, but are then dealing with pent-up demand now. And then the third category of businesses are businesses that have been completely shuttered or shut down by COVID. And these are like some of your primary restaurants that may not ever make it back from COVID. Restaurants, some other types of service businesses that require high occupancy, nightclubs, businesses that require group meetings. These type of have been dramatically impacted. Gyms, hair salons, things like this.
So if a business comes to you and they're in that middle group, are you giving them any advice? Are there certain things you look at and say, we don't really want to list you at this time? Give me some insights.
We really need to see the business numbers come back for it to be marketable in the marketplace. So what we look for is we look for different revenue groups and different month-over-month sales, year-over-year. We can make an exception for a couple of months as long as we've seen the numbers start to rebound after that. If the business is falling in decline and continuing to decline, it's hard to get a buyer excited about that business.
Very true. So, these small business, mid-sized business deals are very relationship based. The buyer and seller got to like each other. I mean, buyer wants to trust the seller wants their legacy continued and get paid. Have you seen any changes in that? Are people more scared to get together, or are they comfortable doing more online?
I think that you have to deal with everybody's given comfort level, and everybody has different risk exposure acceptance. So some people are comfortable wearing a mask to a meeting and having a face-to-face meeting. Others have, I have sellers that have gone to primarily only Zoom meetings, and we've had a little bit of trouble. One particular seller that I have, we've had a little trouble connecting them with a buyer. They've had a lot of really good interest in their business, but because we're conducting everything online, they've failed to develop that relationship that you're talking about, John. So I actually really pushed them to have a couple of face-to-face meetings where we actually gloved up and masked up and had a meeting and walked the business. And We have two interested parties in the business. So we're really kind of, we like to say we're a belly to belly business, and we've had to kind of straddle the fence a bit on that issue, just because, you certainly want to conduct as many Zoom meetings as you can and try to keep everybody safe. But at the same time, it's a high touch industry that we work in.
Yeah, I've been doing some walking meetings. We meet like at a coffee shop and then we walk so we can be a few feet apart and in the open air. So
that's a great idea. And actually we end up, I've had several on-site meetings where we conduct the meetings standing up, with proper social distancing between everybody and with masks on. And it's been quite effective, to be honest. It's better than, it's a hair better than a Zoom meeting. It really is.
Definitely is. I think it's more than a hair better. It is a, like you said, it's a, belly to belly business where people got to know each other. So, when it comes to buyers, have you run into many bottom feeders thinking everything's at a great deal right now?
We certainly have had some people act in the marketplace as, try to act advantageously in the marketplace. I have one particular business that it's a little bit of a turnaround project, and I've got three interested parties, and the first one to make an offer really made quite a low offer. And he might be the best one suited to take the business over, but he made such a bad impression on the seller that he really kind of went to the bottom of the heap, and it's looking like he might not actually get the business when he might be the one in the best position to take it over. So you only get one chance to make a first impression, and if you make it by sticking your foot in your mouth a bit, it doesn't behoove you.
Yeah, definitely. So I've got a couple questions on valuations and pricing and that to wrap up here. And then if you have any other thoughts, I'm glad to have you share them. So have you seen any changes in valuation, pricing, and in the last few months? And what do you think the next 6-12 months or so we're going to see in that area?
We have been making some active adjustments, and we clearly footnoted on our valuations and valuation documents. I tell sellers it's not the time to go for the top rung of the ladder value-wise when we list things. So it's more about picking a defendable value and then creating a market for it and having multiple buyers than it is about trying to find that one person that'll pay a little more for a business. The other thing we've been doing, we have been adjusting numbers a bit, using a prior year number for a couple of the months that a business was damaged, and clearly noting it on our offering documents that this is an adjusted number, a normalized number. Look, this business was up 12% before COVID hit, and then they took maybe a 10% hit in those 2 months, and they're on track to hit the same number. Well, since then, the June number has come back and it's back at that 12%. So in this example, they clearly changed their business model about 18 months ago. They're reaping the benefit of it. We ran into COVID, and that really shouldn't change the value of the business being up 12%, should it?
Okay. Are you seeing any changes in terms and conditions? More buyer cash required, more seller note, bigger escrows, earnouts?
Well, we certainly use creative methods of bridging gaps in deals, and that's where we really use an earnout in a transaction. We've seen a little bit more willingness for seller financing with sellers. But we've had a pretty robust SBA marketplace with all the incentives that the SBA has been putting into place. They're paying 6 months principal and interest on all loans that are consummated by September 30th of this year, and there's a good chance that they will extend that to year end. Just seeing that the epidemic has been lingering around, I think they've been trying to get the economy moving in whatever way they can. Um, the we've seen more people probably going the SBA route that actually could be qualified for a conventional loan because they're paying that principal and interest, and they're also paying a pretty big fee up front is the SBA guarantee fee, and they're actually in most instances paying that fee as well. So I've seen some people that would normally be looking for commercial lending without SBA just because the SBA takes a bit longer, that have actually went the SBA route because they're kind of throwing fuel on the fire, if you will.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of banks that would have been doing conventional loans have told me they're moving to the SBA because of the 75% guarantee to the bank, and they're looking
Yeah.
for a little extra protection.
It's definitely better for the bank too. Yeah.
So Jeffrey, any other closing comments on the buy-sell world and what you're seeing at IBA?
I think that we've actually seen an uptick in the number of buyers in the marketplace. People believe this pandemic, this epidemic is a temporary situation. It hasn't damaged most consumer confidence. So, we're really seeing quite a few buyers in the marketplace, and that's the real test: is are buyers looking and are they making offers? And almost every deal I have at current, every client I've gotten decent action and offers on all the businesses. So it makes me, I like to think we're a leading indicator of consumer confidence, and I believe that consumer confidence is high.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your taking the time to do this interview with me, and I wish you well and enjoy the sunny weather that we're having here in the Seattle area.
Thank you very much. You have a great day.